Are we saying that when you're self-sufficient, you need no validation whatsoever? So it can be really tricky, right? Because I gave you an example of how I went all out last year. I was doing these recordings and I was focusing more on the aesthetics. And then I really started to ask myself, like, you spent so much money. Of course, when you post a video and people like it and you read nice comments, it feels good. Like, I'm not even going to say, I'm not going to say myself and say it doesn't feel good. It does feel good. So, would you say in that process of you feeling good with those things, it is validation? And is validation really such a bad thing, though? Yes.
That's a very broad conversation to have. But let's look at it. Validation is not a bad thing. Giving validation is not a bad thing. Receiving it is not a bad thing. The point is when validation becomes your objective, that's where the trouble is. Because I am looking for validation is my vision. Where does it stop? The moment I know that validation is your objective, you are at the risk of being manipulated. Because whether you did good or you didn't, I will validate you to puppet you. So you have to understand it. And validation, if you come first with validation, you won't do the real work. The essence and the purpose of the work will be lost. Because you now keep checking how many likes, how many dislikes, who said, who didn't say, why didn't he say. You get tracked by, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? What impact do I want to have? What benefit do I want to create? You have forgotten all that and look for, what did he say? Who said? Who didn't say? And all that. And guess what? For every validation, there's also somebody who's going to say something that's really, really nasty.
Yeah.
And then if you live your life on those two pedestals, you won't achieve anything.
Nothing.
And guess what? There's somebody always ahead of you in this life. Always. Somebody would always, if you think I'm the best, somebody would do something that like, wow, that guy did this.
Yeah.
You're wondering, then you now feel like you haven't done enough. That will create a lot of anxiety for you. So what we need to do is first, hey, have I created my own identity? Who am I? And based on that identity informs what I want in life.
Definitely.
And what I want in life and I get gives me peace. It's a self-satisfaction because this is what I pursued, not because of what the world wants. I tell younger people these days, try to live your life offline first before you go online. Stabilize yourself.
Stabilize,
because if the public become your judge and jury, you will lose yourself. You would not be able to be objective as a person.
Because these are people that don't even know you and they just dump all of these nasty things on you.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't send you. So they would have made a comment, they don't even know who you are, just move on. And they don't know the state you're in. If you are unstable emotionally, why are you putting yourself in public? People will flog you. They'll flog you to death.
Back to back.
Exactly. Yeah. So the peace you are losing is because you are unstable, you're unsure, you're unanchored, yet you have gone out. You destabilize yourself more and can even nearly become unwell because you keep remembering what people have said, what they've not said, and the challenges you have, and all that. When you have created your identity based on comparison with your friend, your sister, or your brother, and you see them doing things that you are not wired to do, you will lose your peace. You are not wired to do it.
You're not wired.
You are not natured in that way. You need to, that's why I said there are things we need to learn. And unfortunately, early in school life and all that, we didn't talk about this.
Things we never thought.
We never talk about it. So we just come at it in life. So it's a conversation that early to say, what derailed me last year? I was pursuing school. Then I saw somebody doing social media. I just, me too, I'll do social media. Only
so
for me to realize.
Just say anything.
And then to realize that it doesn't work that way. It takes time. It takes effort. Sometimes somebody that had what do you call that thing? A viral video. Maybe has had it only once in a lifetime. And he has posted 100, but only one.
Only one, yeah.
But you have jettisoned your school to pursue something that is going to take a process. What I've realized in life, whatever is going to last in life requires processing and time. I've come to settle with that. Whatever is going to last requires a lot of effort and time. Many young people don't want to understand that.
They just want, bam.
That sometimes you get that bang, but it's once.
Is it sustainable? How sustainable is that?
And so you want that success. Take even the biggest stars. They don't last forever. Sometimes they have one hit and that's it. Others, they have several hits and then that's it. They have to invent themselves to be something else again. So it all depends on many things.
And that's even more tricky, because whatever definition these people you have defined yourself by have given you, if you're not careful, it then becomes your identity. And you can, I mean, look at these people that go for Big Brother, for example. I feel like they're the most misunderstood people. Based on what people perceive them to be in the house, they project that to them, and that becomes their story, which is extremely sad, because they might not even be anything closely related to that. Yeah, but that becomes their story, and they have to carry it around like a badge of honor anywhere they go. If you're lucky, it will be good narrative. If you're unlucky, then it becomes bad narrative, and that becomes your story. And you there see a lot of unfulfillment. You see a lot of these. They carry all of these things around. You're wondering, how can I find peace when literally the whole world has judged me?
Exactly. So that's why I was saying that when you live your life on social media, you're also an actor.
Yeah.
And so you take that same challenge you have, whether it's reality TV, comes to you because you created yourself as a star in your own right, and you have a lot of hits. So you already, even if nobody knows you on the street, you already feel like 1 million people watch my video, so they know me. So you have to act in that space that you created virtually, but yet you are not able to meet that. What you realize is that for most of the stars, they are in the business, so they have to do a lot of make-believe and create.
People need to understand that it's a business.
It's a business, and create make-believe. So if you see a music star, he has to create something about him. He has to live that life to you for you to continue to adore him. But that may not be him behind. It may be a different person. So you create a persona that people want. But that's not me. Now, can you as an individual that you're exposing yourself consistently create that persona on a continuum, and yet you have a regular life? People have to meet you in the office.
Yes.
And they remind you and say, but we know you now, I like that your Shakara video. Well, that's not really you, right? And you can't be seen in the certain shops anymore. And you can't go to this place. I know that, like, hey, you lose your peace in that way. So you have to be natural. You can't create a financial identity online that you don't have, and you want to make it real. You start running and dodging or wear a face mask or things like that. And that can work.